All right, we're back in the shop again today, and we got some different stuff to look at. Ricky's working on transmission tunnel and that. CJ and I are working on this really pretty 55, I think. I don't really know these old cars as good as I should.
You're gonna get roasted in the comments, I can see.
I'm gonna get roasted because I said the wrong year. I think it's a 55.
I think you're right.
Now, if it was a Buick, you would know exactly what year it is.
No, even if it was a Buick, I wouldn't know. Or an Oldsmobile, because I really don't know these older cars. But really pretty build. And it had a little bit of a leak at the pinion, so we're fixing that. As well as some other stuff, which got a couple things outside we're going to show you. One of them's definitely unique. Stay tuned. All right, so we think the reason for this thing leaking at the pinion is the pressure that the rear end, like as the rear end gets heated up and stuff while it's going down the road, it wasn't venting. And it had a vent on it that I took apart. And it had a seal basically on the top of this little thing. And it took a decent amount of pressure to get it to crack open and actually blow out of the seal. So these are some, it's like a sintered brass steel, sintered brass, sintered bronze, I don't know, but it's got a steel base down here. So we're going to weld them together, and that will give it the venting. And then once the seal starts leaking, doesn't seem like they really stop leaking, so we're going to go ahead and replace the pinion seal as well as install a solid crush collar so that if this ever does have to come apart again, we won't have to worry about crushing the crush collar. Oh, look at there. That was good timing.
Yep.
It's actually nice, all strange.
Yep.
Billet pinion support. Oh yeah, you can see it's definitely wet behind the O-ring, so put a new O-ring in it.
Ooh, fancy.
Yep, don't lose the shim. Cool. Well, while you're getting that cleaned up, I'm gonna walk out here and talk about the Airboat. That is a large pinion gear. This thing must have a freeway gear in it. Anywho, so I'm actually supposed to be on the water right now. And this is a boat that we helped the guy put together a bunch of years ago. Bunch of years ago. And it is a twin turbo, big block airboat. And we ended up freshening the motor up because it started eating a bearing after a few years. Might have run it hot one day, getting one of his buddies unstuck. Or ran it low on oil. We don't know. But some of the bearings were hurt. So we fixed all that, got it installed, cranked it up without the propeller on it and without the cage. And he put the cage on it, brought it back to us because we were going to go water test it today. And now it won't crank. I think Eddie broke it.
I mean, I was working on it last night, and that's the only time I worked on it, and now it's broken, so...
See? Eddie
may have broken this one.
Eddie broke it. No, actually Eddie didn't break it. So we think the module had gone bad inside of the distributor. Actually has a GM late model HEI computer controlled distributor on it. Maybe you can see it back in there. But it's on Holley EFI, like way back before there was ever Terminator X. Got the HP ECU on it, as well as there's a dash up there under that little hat thing. But we're gonna see if this thing will crank up now that we changed the module in the distributor. And you ready to crank this thing?
Yeah.
Let's see if it cranks. I guess I should maybe grab my computer, or we can just see if it cranks.
Yeah, I just want to
see RPM on the dash. Well, if it fires up, we know it's fixed.
Yeah.
Anything loose back there?
Oh, grab the V-band clamp. Actually, I guess I could grab it.
So before we go through all the work of putting the centerpiece back on, that connects the two turbos. The only thing I could think is that where the blow-off line was hooked up,
Yeah,
it's gonna have a vacuum leak. But
Yeah.
if it just cranks, it's fixed.
Yeah.
So
It's just gonna idle high if it has a vacuum leak.
give me some power.
Okay.
All clear?
Yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah, I guess if it cranks, it cranks.
Oh, we got RPM!
Yay!
Yay! I fixed it.
Cool. Well, I just need to play with the fuel tuning on it, and it should crank. I'm a little curious why it didn't crank there. Let's try her again.
Maybe because it's lean?
Did you have to move the distributor?
Nope. I just pulled the cap off.
Okay, cool. So that shouldn't be
Yeah.
changed. Come on, baby. It does crank a little slower with the propeller on it. So
Yeah.
we'll play with the tune up a little bit, and then we'll come back in just a second and see if it fires up.
I think we're ready.
You ready?
Yeah.
Fire in the hole?
No. No, please no.
You sure?
I really don't want to die. It would be a cool way to die, but
Death by carbon propeller blade?
death by carbon propeller blade. Twin turbo big block.
We wouldn't do stuff like that. So power is always off whenever you're in the cage of one of these things. And the person who does the powering off is the person that gets inside of the cage with the thing, so that there can be, if it does happen, it would be their fault.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
That's kind of a dark way to think about it, but. All right, well, as it turns out, we had no spark. So we changed the module in the distributor, still had no spark. And then changed the coil itself. Hopefully now we got spark. And there's a guy landing. Yeah, I miss flying. I need to get back to it. Oh, you guys didn't know that yet. Anyways, all right, let's see. All right, fuel pump. Let's see if she'll run now. Started that log. Alright, well, we got something to play with.
There's a hobbit on the airboat.
This is dedication right here.
This is dedication. Hey Kevin, are you wet? I'm dry. Oh, okay. Taping up the turbo filters. They don't get wet.
All right, well, it is early, a couple days later from first part of when this video was filmed. You guys have seen some of the progress on the Cutlass. Waiting on parts from Grant for this. He actually got the fuel tank back from us to measure the fuel level resistance at every single gallon so that he can plot the programming for the dash, stuff he wanted to do, but we're literally waiting on that to crank the thing. So that's exciting. We got 55 all done up and taken care of. I don't remember if I showed you guys the under the hood or inside, but this thing is pretty. We didn't build this one, but it is owned by a friend of mine. Actually, the guy or the family that used to own the Lexus road race car that I have. So they asked us to fix a couple little things on it, so we did. The interior, super nice. Got some LEDs. I mean, she's pretty. I mean, like, real pretty. Well, we got the leak fixed on the rear end. We moved the brake line that was getting pinched. Played with the ride height just a little bit because the rear was sagging, maybe just a little bit from when it was originally put together. But the Airboat remember how earlier you saw me working on changing we changed the coil on it, or at least I mentioned that we changed the coil. This used to mount up kind of between the intercoolers. Well, so talking with the owner of the boat, we decided that that single coil setup, and I didn't know this until after talking with him a little more. We had this single relay powering the distributor, the coil, and one time he was out with this thing before, and the relay failed, relay came unplugged, whatever it did, and basically just shut off while he was going, you know, he was cruising across the water, had some friends, family on the boat with him, and just shut off. Well, when you got a boat like this, or really any airboat, you can't just shut them off, and you have to power down off a plane, because otherwise it'll suck the lake in. Doesn't really suck it in, it just falls off a plane, the water splashes in, lots of water ends up in the boat, and real bad things happen. As in your really expensive boat ending up at the bottom of whatever body of water you are on. So Eddie was here late last night wrapping up the coil brackets, which I don't see. I saw one of them before I left, and I thought they were going to be on the boat, but they're not. Or I'm not looking hard enough. Oh yeah, there's the mounts for them, so you can see the mounts. But anyway, what we decided to do was put coil on plug on this thing. So we're using Holley's dual sync distributor, which gives us a cam and crank sensor, which you can't really see much of down inside. Well, that won't be on there because that's obviously a rotor button, and we'll put a cap on top of it once we take that off. But we're gonna put 8 coils on the thing. There they are. Actually, I know what it is. We're waiting on, we ordered some spacers so we didn't have to machine some to mount all the coils. Kind of like, couldn't really do a off-the-shelf coil mounting situation for this thing just because it's an airboat, it's custom. So we've done stuff like this before where we make brackets for, you know, each end, so you can kind of see. That'll go on there, and it bolts to part of the frame of the boat, as well as that side. I don't know how he's all got it done, but he's got it all figured out. And we had ordered them on Monday. Today's Wednesday. They were supposed to be here on Tuesday for us to actually finish this up. But the old FedEx truck lost our package. So we ordered them again yesterday to get them here today. It's just how this stuff goes sometimes. And the reason that's important is we promised the owner that we would have that done, because he leaves on Thursday to go on a like he's doing some like 3-day trip with a bunch of airboat buddies where they go from spot to spot and hang out, come back to their hotel, or I don't know what, but it sounds really cool. So anyways, we got to get to work. See if we can get some of that buttoned up. And the next thing we'll be showing you is that thing running, because we've got our little workbench over here. Basically what we've got to do to add the coil on plug harness was not in the harness that we originally used for the boat, because I put that thing together 7-8 years ago. Yeah, it's been a while. So we basically took the Holley big wire harness and made our own kind of sub harness. Actually, Eddie's gonna redo this one because he missed a spot. Gotcha, Eddie. Gotcha. Missed that little bitty spot covering. That's not good. So we've got one for the power and ground, one Deutsch connector. This wire grounds to the cylinder head, and then these are the logic ground, and then the triggers for each individual coil. So We'll wire up those to the ECU. The distributor plugs in, do a little bit of programming, swivel the distributor a certain direction, should crank up, and then we'll make sure the timing on the timing light matches timing in the ECU, and then she should be ready to go. We'll do a little bit more running with it, just you know, make sure everything's happy, warm it up again, check everything over, and send it on its way. So, time for us to get to work. Well, I'm the only one here right now, but time for me to get to work, and everybody else will be here in probably 30 minutes or so, but gotta get going. Well, a little bit of a crazy day today. You guys can see the clouds and see there's quite the storm coming. We've got to get another car in to work on. I don't want to leave this thing outside because it is so pretty. So I'm hauling it back to its owner. CJ's following me to come get it, or to come pick up me. And then we've got to get the airboat done and thrashed together by noon. Shop manager life. It's definitely be pretty involved. So this car's got a six-speed automatic in it. Pretty sweet piece. And when you drive something like this, I tell you, you watch all the mirrors and all the directions, because you do not want anybody to do anything dumb. Y'all stay. Oh, and then we got power company doing, what are you doing, van? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, yeah, no, nothing unnerving about this at all. Just driving under power line with a, you know, $200,000+ 55 Chevrolet. Yeah, no, nothing unnerving about that at all. And yeah, I said $200,000+ to restore a car of this quality to this high of caliber. Easily a $200,000 deal with the parts and the pieces that are in this thing. And you know, it's what we do. It's what we do. Take care of people's hot rods, build people's hot rods. Anyways, I'm gonna quit filming and driving and get this thing delivered.
I'm trying to work, and you're coming in here.
You're actually working for once on camera.
I know, right?
This
That's
is
weird.
this is a
Normally I'm just standing around,
walking around. Yeah,
Now
yeah.
I'm actually working.
So I was hearing you while I was trying to talk to Ricky about what they were doing over here. I just messed up. Too much going on in the brain. I'm actually supposed to be going to get my kids right now, so I'm trying to film that real quick, or film this real quick. Show off your titanium piece.
Oh yeah.
Look at
Oh
that.
yeah.
That's the
Titanium.
dash mount.
Fits right in here. Boom, just like that.
Couple
I
of
still
little
have to,
clamps.
to pull all that tape off, but yeah.
That's pretty nice.
Dash will mount right there.
And other than the power steering reservoir, which I think you're working on next,
Yeah.
we're waiting on Grant to bring the fuel cell back, or fuel tank back, right? Dang it, Grant.
I know.
We want to hear this thing run. All right, so I got to get back to work, and we'll bring you along for a bunch of just quick random stuff. Might be a long video, might be a short video. I don't know, but we got work to do. So back to work. Well, the weather has been not very cooperative today, and I'm gonna try and not get soaked like I did earlier in the video. So we just put some wheel chocks on it, and we are going to fire it up. We rolled it out just enough. Fire it up, and hopefully not suck the walls in on the dyno. At my old shop, the guy that owned the building had his airboat actually outside the door but facing the other way, and he throttled it up and it literally blew the sheetrock through the walls. Like, it made so much air pressure, I guess, inside the building. It's wild. But so you're not doing to do that until I actually command the timing set. We ready?
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
Clear prop.
Clear prop. So let's see if we get lucky on a first crank.
I'm scared.
Everybody clear? Everything good? No.
Wait.
Oh.
Oh. Gotta pull that out.
Yeah. Anything else up
Ricky,
there?
stop leaving tools in the engine bay.
Oh.
Wheel chocks. All right.
Daunting.
Let's see. I mean, it should fire right up. Should. All right. Woo! So now I gotta go back to work, set the timing, make sure the timing matches the computer, and then we're gonna call this wrapped up. All right, well, I'm not exactly sure how all this video has worked together because it's been a bit of a hectic week at the shop this week, but we're getting it wrapped up. But got myself a new wire care shirt. You can see that there, and then kind of fitting with all the wiring we just did on the old Airboat. And stay tuned to Wire Care's website because there is a National DIY Day coming up, and you guys may see a special discount on wirecare.com. If you guys didn't know, Wirecare is who we use for all of our wire, Deutsch connectors, wiring tools, zip ties, all that good stuff. So check it out, wirecare.com. All right, and we're back over to the Corvette to see what Eddie got done today. And hey, we got two hoods. So this is the new hood. And that's a nice fit right there. So from what I understand of aerodynamics, this is a very important area to have sealed off if you are not using it for the intake for the engine, which if you guys have ever watched any NASCAR racing, you know, they have, at least they used to, I don't know if they do now, but the old Cup cars used to have the air intake for the engine right here at the base of the windshield, because as the air gets packed up right here with speed, it makes a high pressure area right here and can force a little bit of extra air into your engine. But we mocked up this hood kind of just with some measurements, and see how we kind of mocked it up here. A little bit of wood matched where this hood originally fit so that Eddie could get the power steering reservoir can all done up. And after we do that, we are 100% waiting for Grant before we can fire this thing up. We do have to put the tank back in and then program the PDM, but he's going to be down for all of that. And hopefully we will be bringing you a fire up video, probably not next week because we got a busy week next week.
Very busy week next week.
I got to go win me a helicopter.
Yes.
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 Freedom 500 next weekend. If you guys didn't know, I will be competing in that again with, I think it's 25 or 26 other racers besides me. And I did manage to win the Freedom 500 a couple of years ago. Won the Indy 800 last year. Gotta see if I can win another one.
We were so close to winning last year.
Yeah.
I really wanted you to get that aerial at him.
Yes.
I wanted to drive it.
I would have, yeah. I did really well in the Freedom 500 last year until I didn't, and kind of wrecked myself across the nose of Travis Pastrana after, I think, leading the most laps of anyone. I'd have to go back and look at the details.
I think you were.
So the last thing we've got going on for the Corvette today, Eddie's drilling and tapping the fill cap for a small little vent so it can breathe a little bit, but not breathe too much. Something we've used on power steering caps before. Works pretty well to give the fluid a little bit of expansion room. Anyways, I feel like I better wrap up this video or I will keep going on and on and on and on. So, thanks to everybody for watching, subscribing, following along. We'll see you guys next time.